and that was a very expensive land in 1901. That it had a lot of tenants, and it was an engineering marvel, I would say. So therefore, the exploitation continued, and they took away a lot of our wealth, leaving us high and dry. Now people are realizing, that what happened and what is going to happen. Also, the pressure on land is also increasing, I would say. The pressure of land is increasing because uh, pre-independence, we had one Assam, you had Bengal also was a part of Assam, and you had in 1911, you see partition of Bengal, what you say. Uh, you had a landmass which you can cover directly from, I think, from Sylhet or from Karimganj, you could take a train up to Calcutta. So this was possible. Today, we are absolutely what's called a chicken neck, and you have the major disconnect between the Indian subcontinent and the Northeast. Uh, Possibly, I shouldn't say as an administrator, I shouldn't say, but there's a little bit of neglect also from the center because we were here. And historically, this is undivided Bengal. So you had grow more food policy by some people, some politicians at one point of time, and we had a lot of immigration issues. A lot of people came from erstwhile East Pakistan, EPDP, what we call earlier, East Pakistan displaced persons, and the current people are coming in droves from Borpeta onwards because of economic reasons. It's not for any other reason. It is economic. They have land and the cultivable land is available, and life is much easier because Bangladesh is one place now is flooded. You have the Surma River and all this. So 6 months of flood and the people have to live in hunger. You have better opportunities here in Assam. They're coming in groupings in droves and they're cultivating the land. Well, there's a positive and negative aspects of immigration. Immigration is part of world civilization. It's nothing new. You have, for example, internationally, you talk of Israel, is one country the Jews selected for this thing. You have heard of migration of, I think, the Syrian refugees going to Germany. So on and so forth. There are a lot of migration that is playing across the country. Even to an extent, I would say Ahmods who had come from Hunan in China, now current China, Myanmar, they migrated 1228 and came and settled here. So they had a different policy. They ruled the country for 600 years. It's a different issue, but the migration is a constant human process. How to deal politically and how to preserve our own identities is an issue that has to be discussed by intellectuals and also understood to find solutions to it. I mean, it is also a question of domination and power. It's also a question of representation in government. It's also a question of haves and have-nots. These are issues which are debated because you see the purse is very limited and everybody wants something out of it. So if you disperse it to people who will going to watch out your identity is a question that has to be answered. But there are also conflicts about agencies who are exploiting the resources. Like you see, I mean the social cost is there, but then for better, take the example of Oil India or ONGC, they're exploiting oil out of it. And there is the environmental cost, there is the agriculture cost to it, there is a displacement cost to it. But when Madam has rightly pointed out, there is what's called return on investment and social costs and all that. It has to be evaluated in a much broader way. It cannot be narrow in that approach because India is producing only 30% of their own oil crude. So we are, and it's a growing economy. Therefore, we are importing now. We are importing Russian oil. If you have read in the newspaper. So all these are very important, and we have to take a very balanced view on the entire aspects. So you see, the displacements are taking place of people in the tribal areas also, and forest. As you know, the landscape is quite beautiful. It is very diverse from hills to valleys, and then you have distinct multicultural existence. And ecology, I would say, ecology and environment is dynamic because, in a sense, that we were under British rule for nearly 200 years, and I have noticed, at one point of time, these were all, I think, pipelands, or I would say, moidams and plus royal lands, I would say, but these were again converted into tea grants. So you have, in my own district, we have 60 gardens because of the, I think that the great China, there was a great war in China between England and China for only tea. So new areas were discovered uh, in northeast to produce tea and stabilize the economy as far as the balance of trade is concerned. So the conflicts are very many because you see, if you have tea, some of these areas were cultivable lands earlier. So new kind of traders come, new kind of tears come. So there was always a conflict about land, and some areas, if the forest areas, were converted into tea gardens, and ultimately you had these people who were displaced to an extent, I would say. So the conflicts were there. This conflict resolution, to an extent, we are saying, I think around out of the 1,000 square kilometers of Charaideo district, around 50 to 55% is under tea cultivation. So that many people didn't have cultivable land historically. It's a history. Now we cannot, we can't say that we can do something about it. But then the other part is the paddy cultivation which we have. So we have been constantly fighting against environment, I would say. Constantly fighting because the British scientists were interested in two things. One was timber and other was tea. So they exploited Assam to a great extent. This is my second district, by the way. I was also deputy commissioner in Hima, Assam, which states ultimately this is the entire statecraft, entire quality, and good churning of activity. And rightly so, these topics are very important. I felt I read through all the 7 topics. I think everybody should pay attention to it. I wish I could convey this in Assamese. My Assamese is not that strong. Obviously, অসমীয়াত ক'লে বেছি ভাল আছিলে. I could have reached far many people. But you see the complexity of the subject. It's too complex for me to, speak in my own mother tongue. It's unfortunate. But then, you see, everybody has to preserve their own.
মূলতে কি insurgent politics is the outcome of this geo-ecology of this region. আমি সেই কথাবোৰ আমি ভাবি নাচাওঁ ন যদি তেনেকৈ হৈছে যে মাইগ্ৰেশ্যন মাইগ্ৰেশ্যন কেলৈ আহে ইয়াৰ পৰা ইয়ালৈ কেলৈ আমাৰ এখন অন্য আজি বিহাৰ ইউ পি সেইবিলাকতো মাইগ্ৰেশ্যন নাই ইয়ালৈ কেলৈ আহে মাইগ্ৰেশ্যন আজি বাংলাদেশ ওচৰতে আগতে পাকিস্তান আছিলে ধৰি লওক এই যে আমি যদি ইমানো ওচৰত নহ'লহেঁতেন এতিয়াতো আমাৰ এই মানুহবিলাকতো অন্য হেৰিলৈ নাযায় অন্য ষ্টেটলৈ আমাৰ ইয়ালৈ যে আহে তাৰমানে কি ইট ইজ এ ইক'লজিকেল ফেক্টৰ্ছ জিঅ' ইক'লজি এই তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কথাবিলাক কৈ আছে আৰু আমাৰ ইয়াত কিমান আছে বুলি ভাবিছে more than 100 ethnic groups সেই ধৰণে more than 100 dialects and languages are there এইটোত কোনো ষ্টেটতে নাই আৰু সেইটো কাৰণে কি হৈছে এই আমাৰ মানুহ সেই বিভিন্ন জনগোষ্ঠীবিলাকে এথেনিচিটি বুলি যিটো কওঁ এথেনিক এটা চেন্স অফ আইডেণ্টিটি লৈ গোটেই উঠালে আইডেণ্টিটি পোৱা নাই কি কাৰণে হৈছে দিছ ইজ বিকজ অফ দি মাল্টিলিংগুৱেল এণ্ড মাল্টিকালচাৰেল ৰিজন এইবিলাক হৈছে ইক'লজিকেল লেণ্ডস্কেপ ফেক্টৰ সেই আইডেণ্টিটি কথাটো তেনেকৈ আহিলে ঠিক এই ধৰণে তোমাৰ এই ৰিজনটো ইকনমিকেলি ভেৰি ৰিচ'ৰ্চফুল আমাৰ ইয়াত নাই কি গতিকে আমি কওঁ দিছ ইজ এ ৰিচ ৰিজন উইথ প'ৰ পিপুল, কিন্তু মানুহবিলাক দুখীয়া, আদাৰৱাইজ ইট ইজ ৰিচ। গতিকে এইবিলাক জানিবলৈ হ'লে আমি এই বিষয়টো এটা মানে আমি চ'ৰ্চ হিচাপে ল'ব পাৰোঁ, এই বিষয়টোৰ পৰা এই কথাবিলাক আহি যাব। আৰু তাৰোপৰি দিছ ইজ এ মংগলয়েড ট্ৰেক বুলি কোৱা হয়। কালচাৰেলি উই আৰ ক্ল'জাৰ টু চাউথ ইষ্ট এছিয়া। সেইটো বহুত ডাঙৰ কথা, এইটো অন্য দেশ অন্য অঞ্চলৰ লগত এইটোতো মিল নাই। এতিয়া যদি আমি চাউথ এছিয়া আমাৰ যিকোনো এটা ম্যানমাৰে ধৰক হেৰি আছে, আমাৰ মানুহজন তালৈ যায়, ফিজিকেলি কোনো ধৰিব নোৱাৰে যে সেইখন এজন যে ম্যানমাৰ মানুহ নে আমাৰ ইয়াৰ মানুহ। কাৰণ এই গোটেই মানুহবিলাক যিমানবিলাক আছে, এই মানুহবিলাক ক'ৰ পৰা আহে? চাইনাৰ পৰা আহিছে, বা এই অঞ্চল এইফালৰ পৰা আহিছে, ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ অন্য ফালৰ পৰা পাছতহে আহিছে। অৰিজিনেল যিবিলাক বাসিন্দা ইয়াত, এতিয়া মিজোৰ পৰা আৰম্ভ কৰিবা, আমাৰ প্লেইনছত যিবিলাক আছে, মিচিং, দেউৰী, আহোম, কছাৰী, গোটেইবিলাকেইতো এই অঞ্চলৰ এইফালৰ পৰা আহিছে। গতিকে এই কিছুমান এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ স্পেচিয়েল কেৰেক্টাৰ আছে এই ৰিজনটোত, সেইটো কাৰণে এইবিলাক আমাৰ ছ'চিয়েল চাইণ্টিষ্টবিলাকে এইবিলাক অধ্যয়ন কৰিব লাগে। মই আগতে কৈছোঁ, যেনেকৈ মেডিকেল চায়েন্সত এজন ডাক্তৰে যেতিয়া নেকি এজন হিউমেন বডিটোক মানে হেৰি কৰে, ট্ৰিটমেণ্ট কৰে বেমাৰ হ'লে, গতিকে আমাৰ এই আজিখনত বেমাৰ হৈছে আমাৰ অঞ্চলত, আমাৰ এই ৰিজনটোত বেমাৰ হৈছে, গতিকে বেমাৰ ট্ৰিটমেণ্টটো কোনে কৰিব? এই যে ছ'চিয়েল চাইণ্টিষ্টবিলাকে কৰিব লাগে। এই যে আমি যিসকলে কলেজৰ শিক্ষক আছিলোঁ, যিসকলে আমি সমাজ বিজ্ঞান অধ্যয়ন কৰিছোঁ, আমি অধ্যয়ন কৰি আমি তাৰ উপায়টো ওলাব লাগিব যে এই ঘটনাবোৰ কেলৈ হৈছে, একচুৱেলি মুভমেণ্ট কেলৈ হৈছে, তাৰ উপায় কি আছে। ডাক্তৰৰ ওচৰলৈ গ'লে যেনেকৈ এখন প্ৰেছক্ৰিপশ্যন দিয়ে, এতিয়া আমাৰ এইটো কথা বহুত উদ্দেশ্য হৈছে আমি এখন প্ৰেছক্ৰিপশ্যন।
News clip, Delhi. Respected delegates, guests, distinguished media persons, students, and all members of Institute of Thai Study and Research Center. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of Institute of Thai Studies and Research, Moranhat, I would like to thank Inaugurator, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ajanta Borgohain Rajpur Madam, for sparing valuable time for us and gracing this event. Madam, for your very thoughtful, provoking and interesting address. Thank you. I extend a very heartfelt vote of thanks to guest of honor Paul Bolwa sir, who spared time from his busy schedule to grace the occasion and for the informative speech. Thank you, sir. I would especially thank Chairperson Dr. Green Phukon sir for his